Hello everyone, it's getting to be about winter solstice in my hemisphere of the planet, and there are a lot of celebrations associated with midwinter or the start of winter, depending on where you are latitude-wise. And so I thought maybe you might enjoy learning how to build a blinky light, such as this one. And that's what I'm going to do today. In the interest of keeping things fairly short, I am going to only build the bulb part of it. And for this I am going to need a developer tooltip, and a Protoflux tooltip. We'll start with how to build. Let me pop into smooth POV so you can see what I'm seeing. First thing I'm going to do is create the bulb. Move this menu a little bit farther back away from my face so this thing doesn't spawn in my face. Context click, pull up the inspector. Oops. Let's move this a little bit farther away. One of the things I like to do when I first start up with an object is to reset the scale and the rotation. And that's just so I have everything starting from kind of like a ground state. All right, and then I also want to change the proportions of this a little bit. I like it to be about 1.7 to 0.5 high. And then I'm going to change the scale to make it small. Very small. Cool thing, if you did not know, you can grab a value and drag and drop it into another field. That might save you a little bit of time. Alright, so now I should be able to, if I can, grab it. There we go. Now I have my capsule. This is my bulb. I'm going to go ahead and change the name of it because I am in fact like that. I try to keep things tidy because otherwise I will lose track of what is what. Blib. It is a bulb, it is not a blib. Alright, so if we take a look at this, you will notice that the mesh renderer is making use of something called, pardon me, PBS metallic en route. PBS physically based shader type of material. It's en route, which means the root of the world. So what that means is that if I use that and then I go and modify it, anything else that is by default using this same material is going to be affected by it. And I don't want to use PBS metallic anyway, because what I'm trying to do here is simulate a light, a flashy light. So I'm going to go ahead and add a component, materials, and instead of one of the physically based shader options, I'm going to use Unlit Material. The thing about Unlit Material is that it doesn't respond to the lighting of the space that it's in. It's just, that's what it means by unlit, is it doesn't respond to lighting. So when you apply, behold how sort of glowy it looks like. We're going to apply that to here by dropping it into the mesh renderer field. And now I have this bright white bulb here. So what I could do, I suppose, if I wanted to make a light, is I could make an actual light, a light object. But the problem with that is it's going to be casting light, which then my computer system and your computer system, if you're visiting me in a world, is going to need to calculate out shadows and things like that. And that's fairly calculatory, you know, like it's intensive on the system. I don't want to do that. I just want to fake it. So this is my cheat, my shortcut. Okay, so now that we have the bulb set up, I'm going to give it a child. And I'm going to go ahead and rename that child Bulb Pflux, because that's where I'm going to pack my Protoflux nodes in when I am done with all of this. Alrighty, so now we're set. Let's go ahead and switch over to the Protoflux. I'm going to keep this fairly simple. What I'm going for is kind of an old-timey holiday tree light bulb kind of thing, and I'm going to have it just randomly switch colors. So there's an awesome utility called Pick Random Value, and if I select Pick Random Value Color X, then I get a node that allows me to pick a random color out of a set of colors that I have specified. I'm going to go ahead and set up a couple of colors here. I'm not going to pull this out because it cycles through, like every frame it's picking a different color randomly, and that's going to be kind of flashy, and I don't want to do flashy things here in the sense of having a visual strobe effect. So I heartily encourage you to experiment with this on your own. And if you want to pull out that and see what it's actually doing under the hood, I encourage it. Just be aware that it's going to be a rapid flash. Okay, this is RGB and A, so I can set my colors. Red plus green equals yellow in this color scheme. Let's make this 3 and make this 1 purple. So for some of the secondary colors like orange and purple, I like to mess around with these values. That's a good place to start. Let's get on with it. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to do the timing part of it. So we will go back and we will go to flow, and there is a seconds timer. I think I would like this to change every second. Let me show you what that looks like. So if I go ahead and pull this out, you can see that there's a pulse happening every second, and that's what I want. I could change this to something like 0.5 every half a second, and it would be a lot more frequent, but I don't want that. Let's just stick with 1. Now you can tell it's me by default because I'm the one here. I would like to kind of make this more of a generic object in case somebody else wants to play with it. So I am going to pull in the host user. I'm going to click this in here. It's going to say drive, yes. And then I have my reference. So now it's definitely set to the updating user. That's me. All right, now we have to get this over into the actual bulb. So if I go back to my color, what I want to do is I want to drive this tint color in my bulb. Hold on a moment while I turn that off so we can see it. All right, so back in the actions menu now, I need write, and I need a value write. And what I'm going to be writing, of course, is colorx, because I want to write to the tint. Okay. So what do I want it to write? I want it to write the value of this. So whatever color it picks at the time of the pulse. Variable, I need to go ahead and pull out and then hit context menu, and I want a data model store. This gives me a variable to write to. And because I'm like that, I'm going to, of course, give it a name. Let's call it current color. Okay, now watch the bulb very carefully. Now I'm going to pull out the tint color by grabbing it and then using, let go, using my context menu. This is going to be a driven thing. I didn't really even need to do that. Notice how it is, this is set to default, which is zeros for everything. So now my capsule has gone black. All right, now we just need to drive it. And behold, every second, the light is changing. So this is a fairly simple setup. There are a bunch of other options for determining colors and, making a color cycling through the rainbow, all kinds of other stuff like that. I highly recommend you check out Probable Prime's YouTube video channel because he goes into more details. But this will at least get you started on making some blinky lights of your own. Thanks very much for stopping by, and I will see you around on Resonite.